So we've left Fort William behind now. We've spent a few days there, longer than I wanted to really, but we needed to get things done. Like I needed to get the tyres done on Bob, and we had laundry to do, and I had to wait for a parcel to be delivered to the post office from Amazon. And so with one thing and another, we ended up spending more time there than I would have really liked. But nevertheless, it was very productive and we got a lot of things done, and we also enjoyed some lovely walks. But we've now we're heading into the Cairngorms National Park. Now, this is somewhere that I have wanted to visit for a long time. I've never been up to the Cairngorms. It is obviously a very, very big national park. And so we'll only get to see a tiny part of it, I'm guessing. We're at a place called, and I'm really sorry, Scottish people, for my pronunciation, because I'm really struggling with some of these place names. It's a national nature reserve, and it's called Cairngorms. I'll pop the name on the screen and then you can work it out for yourselves. So I'm really sorry. You know, I'm okay with simple pronunciations like Fort William, but anything that's remotely challenging is, yeah, I'm sorry, really sorry. So we are just called here for a pit stop. We're just going to have a nice walk around the nature reserve. There are meant to be some deer here. I've not spotted any yet, but hopefully we will be able to see some deer. But nevertheless, it's a lovely place to wander around and see the birds, listen to the birds, and just get a nice feel for the place. So all the deer paddocks here appear to be empty. I'm not sure why or where the deer have been taken, but there doesn't appear to be any here. So next stop, just off the A86, is the Patak Falls, which is a short return walk through the woods to the waterfalls, which are tumbling through a rocky gorge carved by the River Patak, and they look particularly good after some wet weather. Hi guys, so we have made it to the Cairngorms National Park and I am really excited to be here. It's somewhere that I've always wanted to come and explore. I'm even more excited about the weather because it was meant to be raining today, so fingers crossed it's going to stay fine for the next few days, but the weather unfortunately looks like it's going to be changing. But never mind, we'll just have to get our waterproofs on and get prepared for some wet walks. Our next stop was the Highland Folk Museum, which is Britain's first open-air museum. It's fantastic because it's where you can step back in time and experience life in the Highlands from the 1700s to the 1950s. And there are over 35 historical buildings on site that you can explore and discover how people in the Highlands lived, worked, went to school and enjoyed their leisure time. They're open every day from April to October, with various different opening hours during the summer and the autumn period. There's no charge, it's absolutely free to go in, and it is dog friendly. There is a charge for the car parking, which helps with the upkeep and the running and the development of the museum. But we spent a good few hours here. It's quite a huge site actually, and we really enjoyed looking in all the different buildings, and we especially enjoyed the little crofters village, which was really fascinating to go into the authentic crofters houses. And shepherd's bothy. So this is the shepherd's bothy. There's his little bed, and it is a tiny bed, crikey. It's really tiny. He's got his stove, his thick woolly winter socks. His table. Now this is an old letterbox. Can you see? It's got George VI on it. Wow.
Hi there.
So we've reached Aviemore and we are exploring Cairngorms National Nature Reserve. Apologies if I've pronounced that wrong. Unfortunately, the weather has turned. It's very wet and very, very windy. But we still enjoyed the walk. There are several trails to choose from through this nature reserve. And they're all graded depending on different abilities. And we took the trail that leads us right up onto the cliff top and to the viewpoint. There's fantastic views from the top, but unfortunately the wind was absolutely ferocious and it started raining and hailstoning, so we had to come straight back down again. The thing about being in the Cairngorms and of course Scotland and even just generally in the UK is you never know what weather you're going to get from one moment to the next. You can literally have all 4 seasons in one day. This is the following day from the hailstorm yesterday, and as you can see the sun is shining and it is a beautiful, lovely, warm, calm day. And it was so hot that Moo decided he needed to go and have a swim. Not that he needs much of an excuse, but he really enjoyed cooling down in the water. So here we are at Glenmore Forest Park, and just through the trees there where you can see the van parked up is Glenmore campsite, which is in a really lovely spot. Right at the side of the loch here, you've got a beautiful little beach, lots of lovely little woodland walks, and also there's water sports available where you can hire kayaks and canoes and other water sports and facilities, and it's a really lovely spot right in the heart of the Cairngorms National Park. What are you waiting for? Hey? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for me to throw the stick? Hey? Are you ready? So we're at the Cairngorms Mountain Ski Resort, and this is going to be our home for the night. There are some facilities here. Obviously, it's not ski season. We haven't got any snow at the moment. But obviously, you can go skiing, tobogganing, sledging, mountain biking. And there's even a mountain railway that takes you up to the top of the mountain, but that's not working at the moment. I think it's closed for annual maintenance. And there's a really lovely cafe, which we enjoyed, which has got a fabulous wood burner. So at the mountain resort, it's absolutely chucking it down, but the mountain bikers are out in force having a really good time on the mountain. So the final stop on this part of our journey in the Cairngorms was the most exciting of all for me. We actually got to do a reindeer trek with the Cairngorm Reindeer Herd. Now, reindeer have lived back here in the Cairngorms National Park since 1952, and the herd are permitted to graze on over 10,000 acres of land up on the mountain sides. The company's founders visited the area whilst they were on the honeymoon and quickly decided that the Cairngorms was an ideal place for reindeer to be. So Mikael Utsi and his wife, who are the co-founders of the reindeer company, reintroduced the reindeer to the Cairngorms back in 1952. So the guided hill trips run daily, and they need to be booked in advance. It's highly recommended that you pre-book the tickets, especially during the holiday seasons, because it is a really popular activity and tickets sell out fast. So the hill trips begin with a short drive along the main road from the centre, in which you use your own vehicle. And then that's followed by a guided walk of about 20 to 40 minutes up to where the reindeer are, depending on the time of year. And so you need to have a reasonably good level of fitness, because there's some rough terrain to walk through. But most importantly, you need to have the right gear in terms of footwear. So a good sturdy pair of hiking boots or wellies are essential. And if you don't have these, you can actually hire wellies from the centre. You also need to dress for the weather, and waterproof jackets are absolutely essential. The centre have a policy that if you're not adequately dressed for the weather, then they'll refuse to take you up on the trip for safety reasons. So check out what you need to be wearing on their website. The trips are £23 for adults, and £16 for children. Or if you don't fancy doing the trip but you still want to see some reindeer, there is a paddock at the centre where you can pay a couple of pounds and you can see some reindeer down at the centre. Once you reach the reindeer, you'll be right in amongst the herd, within a metre of the reindeer, with plenty of information given by the herder and the opportunity to take photos and videos. There is a short hand feeding session, but otherwise it's a hands-off experience with the reindeer as they don't like being petted. And the whole trip usually lasts for around 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on the reindeer and also the weather. So if you want to do this reindeer trek, check out the website, which I'll link in the description box below. And yeah, it's a really wonderful experience. So just here, I've zoomed in really far because we weren't allowed to go near it, but there's a baby reindeer that is just 1 day old.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no can weather any storm.